A quick couple of reminders in Spanish for those that need interpretation. Devices to the back. Para los que ocupan un aparato para interpretación, tenemos las señoritas acá atrás, a la vuelta, con estos aparatos, por favor. Okay? All right. We're going to get started here shortly. I know we still have folks that are coming in. So give us about maybe 30 more seconds. Okay? A couple of housekeeping items. Restrooms are off to our right. If you go straight back, first hall to your right, you make a right, and then first hall to your left. We have a few sets of restrooms there. Okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get going here. Welcome, everyone. I want to make sure if we are receiving the interpretation services that they're ready to go. Just give a thumbs up. Dedo apuntado para arriba, sí. Oh, lo que dijo ella, si es que están trabajando, ¿sí? ¿Todo bien? We good? Okay, we're good. All right, perfect. Okay, my name is Robert Saldivar. I'm the Executive Director of Educational Services here for our district. So we're going to go ahead and get started again. Thank you all for being here and welcome to our final Lcap gathering. Okay, before we get started, our board approved a land acknowledgement back on March the 7th of 2023. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the Anaheim Union High School District, that the Anaheim Union High School District is located on the ancestral land of the Gabrielino Tongva people. We gratefully acknowledge those on whose ancestral homelands we gather, as well as the diverse and vibrant Native communities who make their home here today. Okay, thank you, everyone. We also want to acknowledge some of our dignitary folks that are in the crowd. We're going to start with Board of Trustee for the Anaheim Elementary School District, Ryan Relas. Ryan, I know I saw you out there. Are you in here yet? He's still outside. Okay. Oh, there he is. All right. Thank you for being here, Ryan. We also have from Fullerton Joint Board of Trustee Lauren Klatzker. Is Lauren in here? I know I saw her somewhere. Hi, Lauren. All right. And then I know some of our board members are going to be stopping by as well. I know Trustee Guerrero will be here, and some of our others are now going to make an effort to come here as well. So we appreciate their efforts to be here as well. We have our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Jaron Freed. I'm not sure if he's in here yet, but we just want to make sure we acknowledge him and thank him for being here. And then we also want to thank all of our folks who have been a part of really, just supporting the Lcap process. Obviously, our our ambassadors who worked hard to recruit all of our students to be at our focus group meetings. All of our directors and just Ed Division staff that help to facilitate the focus group meetings. If you're in the room, please stand up. If you're standing up, please raise your hand and let's acknowledge all of them. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. Some of them might be in the overflow room. I think we're going to be okay without the overflow room, though. We have Mr. John Bautista, our PIO, who's helping with the live stream. I'm not sure if there's John. John, you can raise your hand. Thank you, John, for helping out with the live stream. And then we also have Lucy and her team who helped to, she's our support staff that helped to set everything up, from the catering to everything you see in here, and also with our M&O department and their team who have helped to support all of the setup. So thank you to all of them, to Quentin and his team and Lucy and their team. Thank you very much. And also, thank you to our transportation team. I'm not sure if Scott and Scott Sangren and Rob Lewis are in here. Are they in here? Yes, if you could raise your hand. For all of the support with the buses, for our students, we appreciate it. And Dr. Nancy Nien as well, our Assistant Soup of Business. Thank you for being here. All right. Well, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Michael Matsuda, who would like to provide a welcome and a few words for us all as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and let's give it up for Robert Saldivar, our executive director. Where's Robert? Yes.
Yes.
You guys, you just gave it up for him. Okay, so you can do it again. That's fine. First of all, I want to put a shout out to 3 schools that just became California democracy schools. Hope, let's put a shout out to Hope. Yes. Gilbert, yay. And Sycamore in the house. I think it's, we are, and this is the biggest clap, is that we are the first district now to become a district democracy district in California. That's awesome. And this Lcap process is proof that democracy is alive and well in the AUHSD, that all of our folks, our students, our parents, our staff have a voice in prioritizing district budget through the Lcap process. And this is why we have so many visitors from across the state asking, how do we do it? Well, we do it the AUHSD way, which is, this is it, you know? It's really the tacos that do it for us. So, yes, that's right, tacos. So I'm really proud of this process. I know sometimes it seems like, hey, it's a long process, but you'll find out it is the right process. And again, I remember when we started this, when you started this, I reminded the group that we are the only district to fully fund social workers, fully fund community liaisons, fully fund the amazing training for democracy schools and other teacher training that have positioned us as a transformational district. And it's because of this process that we have normalized all of these amazing support services that we offer. So even though we have 13 community schools out of 19, we intend to, by next month, hopefully have all 19 schools, California community schools as well, right? We hope. It'll be quite something. So, more to come, and I'm really excited to hear the results of our Lcap process. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mike, for your welcome and your words. And we want to continue now with, as many of us know, for those of us that work in this district, we typically start our meetings, not only here at the district, but at our school sites as well, with our vision and mission. And as our vision, as it is behind me on the screens, as it reads, to create a better world through unlimited you, and our mission, the Anaheim Union High School District, in partnership with the greater community, will graduate socially aware, civic-minded students who are life-ready by cultivating the soft and the hard skills. And hopefully for our students that are here today and have been part of this process, hopefully you, as you're hearing this, you think of your experiences in the classroom. As Superintendent Matsuda just said, 20 of our schools have now been recognized as democracy schools. And so just the experiences that you have in the classroom, thanks to your teachers and all of our support staff, the training that we provide, the resources, that you are seeing our vision and mission come to life in your experiences in the classrooms and on your campuses. And our core values, again, when we start our meetings, we also like to reflect on our core values. And really, this is how we achieve our mission and vision. So they're right behind me. We have 7 of them. So we take a few seconds to reflect on our core values and maybe think of 1 or 2 that resonate with you as you think of the Lcap process over the last couple of months. Our experiences that we had in the focus group meetings that we had, the conversations, the dialogue at the tables that we had with our students, our community members, our families, our staff, here at the district and at the sites, and how we live and breathe these core values through a process like Lcap, or at school, at the site, with the work we're doing at the site, or in the classroom, or here at the district. And before I hand it over to Dr. Hernandez, again, our social contract, right? We have a social contract that all of our sites you know, have adopted in one way or form or another, whether it's a social contract, norms, values, that a lot of our teachers will take our students through a process where they come up with their own norms, their own values, their own beliefs about how to treat each other, you know, how to treat each other, the teacher in the classroom, the staff member in the classroom, how the staff member should treat the students, expectations and things like that. So we have, as a district, we also have adopted a social contract. In every meeting that we have, we like to review the social contract. I know in each of your focus group meetings, this was a social contract that our steering committee had come to agreements on. And so just as we go through the social contract, as you reflect on it, maybe think about one or two that resonate with you for the purpose of this meeting. What comes to mind? For example, thinking of equity of voice, and has that been represented throughout this entire process? Have we heard from our students, our family members, our staff at the sites, our district folks, our community members? Have we heard their voice in these focus group meetings that we just came out of? You know, the idea of trusting the process, right? As we continue to navigate the LCAP, as we look forward to the recommended draft actions that each group came up with, okay? Okay, so now what's next? So I'd like to have Dr. Hernandez come up and to take us through the next few steps here. So let's give Dr. Hernandez a big round of applause. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Like you said, I'm Dr. Hernandez. This is my first year helping facilitate the LCAP, and it's been such a humbling process. And I am truly honored to be in front of you this afternoon, and thank you for your commitment with these sessions and these focus groups. At AUHSD, we see the LCAP engagement process as an opportunity to tell our story, our accomplishments, and to gain some comprehensive input from all of you, our educational partners. So we believe that in order to reach real results, it's vital that the LCAP is planned with intentionality and connects us with our students, families, and community. So through the annual LCAP process, we shed light on areas of growth as well. And through a collaborative process, we've come up with action items that will be presented tonight from representatives from our 4 focus groups. So again, thank you for your participation, for helping us develop and organize and plan this important plan. It is a unifying process that involves significant and purposeful engagement, which includes all of you. So this is just a brief overview. This is a 3-year plan. This is year 2 of our LCAP. We will be presenting our LCAP at a board meeting later in June. I will go over just the purpose of the input process today. So for all of our guests here, the input process is about building consensus. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to review all of the action items that you guys worked tirelessly to develop in your focus groups. Again, this is not a vote, it's building consensus. Our actions are recommendations, and they help establish the district priorities. Also, actions that are included in our LCAP do not take the place of our negotiations or bargaining process. So for group 1, basic services, this group looked at rate of teacher misassignment, access to standards-aligned materials, and facilities in good repair. And they looked at this data and came up with action items. At this moment, I would like to invite our student representative that's gonna read the action items that Group 1 developed. So if I can have Alexa Diaz come on up.
Okay. I read action 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
So you're reading all 3 actions for group 1.
Okay. So for group 1, our first action was that AUHSD will isolate specific funding geared towards hiring and retaining teachers with appropriate credentials to support class size reductions, especially in core and PE classes, to increase the ability to build deeper and more authentic connections between teachers and students, to increase college and career readiness through course offerings, and to support all students in achieving life readiness skills. So our action 2 is facilities, maintenance, and IT staff will upgrade critical electrical infrastructures such as switchgears, which provide our energy, and like solar services to counter our energy use, as well as servers. So their goal here is to, Their goal here is to satisfy the conditions that the state of California will require in the next 15 years to support our 21st century living, as well as supporting our more like electronic and electric courses that are being offered in our schools more recently. This is all for students, our staff, and our community to ensure our access to clean and renewable energy that supports our 21st century living. Our action 3 is our technology, equipment, resources, and training will be provided by the EIT staff, tech coaches, and/or specialists to enhance student engagement, access to rigorous curriculums in an up-to-date 21st century learning environment. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. And what school are you representing today? Kennedy. Thank you, Alexa. So for group 2, the priorities they looked at were state standards, pupil achievement, course access, other pupil outcomes. And this group analyzed and disaggregated performance standards data, standardized test scores, evidence of college and career readiness, pupil enrollment in a broad course of study, pupil outcomes in a broad course of study. And to read out group 2's action statements, I would like to invite Take Nagata.
Okay, so our first action is that school sites will increase the number of teachers to support reduced class sizes for the purpose of improving the quality of instruction and engagement and student outcomes, such as SBAC scores and graduation rates for SWDs and ELs. Action 2, the district will allocate out-of-kit funding for schools to have a 250 student to 1 counselor ratio in order to meet the academic, social, emotional, and career needs of our students. In order to best serve students, we need to address smaller caseloads. For our action 3, we came up with school and district staff will research and implement flexible learning opportunities, bell schedules and block scheduling, hybrid classes and programming, and expanding e-learning, and course offerings for all students positively impact and improve graduation rates. SBAC scores, CTE pathway completion, and ADG eligibility to reduce the need for remediation. Thank you. I'm here representing Anaheim High School.
Thank you. So for group 3, parent involvement, this group looked at looking at efforts to seek potential input and decision-making for how we provide professional learning for our parents, and it was also promoting parent participation. And I'd like to invite Mario Valdespino to come on up.
So group 3 is parental involvement. Action 1, AOHSD will allocate additional fundings to reduce class sizes, teachers, and support lower staff caseloads, counselors, social workers, psychologists, site administrations for all students, especially McKinney Vito, foster youth, plurilingual students, low income, and students with disabilities to provide for individualized attention, strengthen one-on-one relationships with parents and students, safe learning environment, a social emotional learning opportunities and representation to student voice. Action 2. In collaboration with community partners, parent organizations, and the student body, the school site will plan for multiple similar opportunities to be inclusive and various parents/guardians schedules for families to be informed and involved to create positive school culture and ensure that proper interpretation services will be provided for equitable access. Action 3. District Lcap will allocate funds so that all students, especially English learners, SWDS, and foster youth, have access to and can participate in all school activities, dances, sport activities, and events during the school and after school to increase mental wellness and promote a unified school culture. And I'm representing Anaheim High School.
Thank you, Mario. And finally, Group 4, Pupil Engagement and School Climate. They looked at our attendance rates, dropout rates, graduation rates. Also looked at our chronic absenteeism, suspension rates, sense of safety and connectedness. And to read their action items, I would like to bring up a group of students. They wanted to come up in solidarity, so Ari Cardena, Michael Flores, and Karina Soliman.
Hello, I'm Ari Cardenas, the Laura Student Ambassador. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Karina Solomon, and I'm representing Savannah High School.
And I'm Michael Flores, the Gilbert High School Student Ambassador.
Group 4, Pupil Engagement and School Climate. For our first action plan, we want Anaheim Union High School District will keep small class sizes to 30 or less students per class to allow teachers to identify students' needs and reduce class size to support social emotional needs while allowing students to build peer relationships.
Okay, so for Action 2, we have district leadership will be more intentional with the staffing of psychologists, school counselors, school social workers, and other qualified staff and existing resources in order for all school sites to have a wellness center and to utilize mental health supports more effectively.
And for Action 3, AUHSD will hire or keep more counselors, keep smaller caseloads, and provide quality academic and social support to all students.
So if we can give all of our students another round of applause. They were super committed, rain or shine. They participated in our focus group. So thank you for being a part of the process and sharing your voice. Now, here comes the AUHSD LCAP input process. All of you received a half sheet with a QR code. So if you can take that out, and this is where you will see a Google form. We're asking that you input the password that's unique to you, that was given to you when you entered at the check-in. It is case sensitive. You don't have to include the quotations, but it is case sensitive. And then we're gonna go ahead and give you 5 minutes, if that's enough, to select your top 3 actions. Yes, we do have a question.
Well, they're flipped. 3 and 4 are flipped, it looks like. They're actually copy and pasted. They're exactly the same. Oh, yeah.
The issue is, I am aware of the issue, I'm correcting it right now. In the meantime, when you first go to the form, there's a link to the action items presentation. You click on that, that will give you all the action items, and I'll fix that image for the English section shortly.
So the one in the Google form is correct?
In the Google form, it's correct, but there's an image that pops up for the English, and
I can't hear you.
Every action item, number one, for every focus group is reduce class sizes. Or I think you said not a vote, but do these votes get separated? If 10 people vote for action item number one,
So there is some uniqueness to each action item, although some of them may address class size, but others address other staffing ratios. So we left them as they were written by each focus group. So they are, we can look at them as a theme when we tally them up. But again, those were action items that were developed by the members of each focus group. Mhm. Yeah, no worries.
we recommend. So we need to choose one reduced class size action item.
So if you want to select, let's say, action item 1 from group 1 3 times, you can do that. The form allows you to do that. Any other questions? So we're going to give you some time to go ahead and submit your top 3 priorities.
She's saying that you can't read the whole thing. That's interesting, because when we looked at it, you were able to see, if they scroll to the top, they can see them, can't they?
If they scroll to the top, they're all listed.
Just as an FYI, if you scroll to the top of the survey, they should all be listed there. So again, scroll to the top of the survey. If you're having a hard time when you go down to vote and it's cut off, scroll to the top and they should all be listed there. We're going to verify that in a second, okay? Okay, so at the top, once again, just to clarify, at the top of the survey there is a link. If you click on that link, it will take you to all of our draft recommended action items. Just to clarify, there should be a link at the top of the survey that takes you to the our slide deck that has all of the draft recommended action items. To vote and then another 5 minutes to
Tally it up.
tally it up.
It's updated, so they should be able to see it. Yeah, she said just turn your phone sideways.
So should we reread the one before just to make sure they heard it correctly?
If they want, yeah. It's all in there. So now it has the correct.
Action items?
Yeah. And the drop down has all the right ones. There's district Lcap, and so these are all.
Okay, so it should be all correct now? If you have any questions, need support, just raise your hand. We have folks around the room. Our group 4, 3 recommended draft action items has been corrected. Thank you, Charles, for doing that. So that should now be accurate. will send by email instructions for those that were absent and have been a part of the process and have been showing up to our focus groups, their code to vote and a link to vote, and give them a window that will open on Monday or open tomorrow.
If I can get it done tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow.
And with instruction to when it will open and when it will close.
Thanks for coming. You feel this?
Phones, you can't see the whole thing. You can only see the first part. If you turn it, you can see a little bit more, but you can't see everything. Because you're only voting for 3 things.
Right.
Class size reduction, more kids. So Eric's bringing Chromebooks over in case someone is like, I need to see. But most people are going to be fine. But I just want you to be aware that he's going to be coming with Chromebooks. So if someone is having a hard time on their phone and they're not quite sure, we will have Chromebooks that people can log in and click
Gotcha.
I don't know how it's going to work with the QR code, but they'll get to the form and they have to type in their password still.
Okay.
So there is. But I think most people are. There's only either there's 12 things or 4 things.
So if someone wants to see them
If
side
someone's
by
having a hard
side,
time on their phone and they're not quite
device.
sure, we will have a Chromebook. But it's pretty clear. You're really voting for 3 of them.
Okay, just as an FYI, if someone needs to see the recommended draft action items simultaneously as you're voting, we have some support over to my left, your right. We have Chromebooks where they will help you with bringing those up so you can look at them versus having to go back and forth. Okay, but again, if you scroll to the top, there's a link to this slide deck with all of the draft recommended items for each of the groups.
Yeah, we'll close them.
Okay, so we have a couple of more things to go over before we are able to take the data from those who are here and just show you some real-time results, which is what we're going to try to do in the next 5 minutes. Now, keep in mind that we still have quite a few people that weren't able to be here tonight or this evening. So we are going to send out instructions. Be right with you, give me a second. We're going to send out instructions to those that were not able to be here that have been showing up to our meetings, okay? We will be sending out a code for each of them to be able to vote with the link, with instructions to when it will open for them and when it will close, okay? Once we have everyone's vote, we will take all of those that voted and cross-reference out with those that have been showing up just to make sure that it was someone that's been showing up and that to make sure they only voted once, okay? In terms of, they didn't try and reuse the code. So we'll clean all that data up. We have a question over here in the back. 2.
So some of us voted when the clock came on, and then things were clarified. Is there a way to change your vote? And if not, is there a way to clear the vote and start again now that things have been clarified?
So what we can do, Charles, are you coming to answer that? No? Okay. So let us see if we can do something, and we'll send out instructions. If not, then you could just email us. We could then delete your vote or... Right. Let us discuss that. Amy, are you saying something?
Yeah, can't we take the paper word and take that off the survey if we know which word?
And give her another word.
Is that not right?
Yeah.
Yes. Logic, yeah.
Okay.
Paper word, is that
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Okay, gotcha. So we're going to give you another word. All right. We're going to collect the one you have to make sure we omit it. Okay. Anyone else with wanting to do that? Good. All right, so now over the next few minutes, as we're trying to aggregate the real-time data, we have a couple of more things that we want to, just to, in the interest of time, while we're waiting for them to show us the real-time data, hopefully if possible, we got a couple other things to update you on. So before we get to our special guest here, one of our students, I want to make sure that we acknowledge we have Trustee Guerrero that was able to join us. If you want to say hi, hello. Thank you for being here. Okay. And then on this slide here, again, you heard from our students who were willing to come up and and speak, address the audience here and read out the draft action items from their groups. A lot of you who obviously are well aware of all the things that our schools are doing, from the soapbox speeches to the different projects in the classrooms, from the democracy schools that have all been recipients because of the work that they're doing. There's a lot of evidence out there of the learning experiences that our students are receiving in the classroom, thanks to the hard work of our teachers, our support staff, our counselors. And so just to highlight some of those things again, we wanted to include a slide here with some of the things that we wanted to celebrate. Our A through G rates that have risen from 35% to 52% over the last 6 years district-wide. Yes, big round of applause for that. Our graduation rates that have also risen from 86 to 91% over the same time frame. As we heard earlier, our 20 democracy schools, we are now a democracy school district, the only one in the state. So a huge round of applause to that. Our 13 community schools that were funded by a grant, close to $24 million. And for the 8 remaining, we're waiting to hear, obviously we're waiting to hear if we're going to be receiving funding for them as well. So again, a huge round of applause to the great work that has gone into that. And again, none of this could not be done without the support of all of our folks at the sites, right? Our teachers, our support staff, instructional aides, office support, counselors, administrators, our parents, our students that are in the audience, our district folks that are supporting the great work that's going on at the site. So a huge round of applause to everyone for that. And now, just as a small sample size to what we often see in the classroom, right? Our student experience and when we think about the difference between what we're doing as a district, when you think about what voice and purpose means, right? What the soft skills mean, our vision, right? And everything that we've reflected on. We have a student here, Susana Quesada from Catella High School, who we have the honor to see this evening, a sample size of the student experience in the classroom, thanks to the work that's being done at each of our sites. Susana, if you'd like to come up, and she will be partaking in her AUHSD talk. All right.
In 2023, it is unlikely that you will find a classroom full of confident students. You might find a few. You might find 10 saying they feel confident on Monday, and only 6 saying they feel confident on Wednesday. Confidence is so weird. It's a word we throw around so casually. It's the thing every young adult wants more of, except for money, of course. But how exactly are we supposed to address the lack of confidence and low self-esteem of today's teenagers? We see how such a problem is already affecting our real world. According to the Dutch Ministry of Education, students with low self-esteem struggle to make decisions about their education, such as choosing a major. These students often drop out of their selected majors, while students with healthy self-esteem levels complete their degrees in the majors they initially chose. Now, why is this important? For one, I hope my surgeon is confident in their career choice. But more importantly, we see how our self-esteem can affect our long-term goals and the overall outcome of our lives. Low self-esteem creates a lack of self-confidence. I asked a group of students what caused these feelings of self-doubt and poor image in them, and one word stood out to me the most: expectations. Students explained that feeling an inability to reach expectations is what drove their confidence to the ground. We create these expectations through comparison, through what we wish we could do, and what we know we will never achieve. Comparison is not only the thief of joy, but it also pickpockets our confidence. A heartbreaking response from one of the students I interviewed was, "I want to be the person others see me as, because I will never see myself that way." If students didn't struggle with these self-esteem issues, perhaps we would see more teen involvement in our schools and our community. But instead, us teens fall into a cycle of excessive self-doubt and self-criticism. We wish we could just please everyone, but it does not have to be this way. You can start to build confidence in yourself right now. We must tell ourselves that we are capable of achieving our goals, and everyone is truly capable. Just look at what you have already done, how far you've already come. Another part of this positive self-talk, while it's kind of cliche, is to reassure yourself. As many times as you have to, tell yourself, "I can do it." People often link their identities to their thoughts, so use this to your advantage. And more importantly, remember that nobody's really looking. Nobody's actually watching. As teens, we can all be a little self-absorbed, but how often do you actually pay attention to the people around you? How much do you just forget about them once you're not in their presence? Perhaps the best advice on confidence that I have received is that a confident person does not need permission because they trust themselves. So I invite my fellow teens to do this. Trust yourself to be yourself. You might shine brighter than you think. Thank you.
All right, wow. Thank you, Susana. And again, just the power that we see in an educational experience that the one Susana just exemplified here at the podium, and that builds confidence, as she spoke to, and a sense of purpose, right? And again, that's what we're about. That's what our district is about, is helping our students to build that confidence, to find that sense of purpose through CPSF, and then when we connect the capstone to that and what that means to a lot of our seniors who've been going through that, and reflecting on the many projects, the many opportunities to do whether it's a TED Talk, a soapbox speech, some meaningful civic action project, whatever it was that really spoke to your heart, inspired you, and now you're able to come up with confidence and speak to that, present to it, reflect on it through a capstone showcase. And how many of us as adults had that experience when we were in high school, or would have been able to do that given the experience that we had in our own education? So just the difference in the education that we're affording our students here at our district. So again, a huge round of applause to Susana and all of our teachers that are making this happen. I believe we are ready. So this is real time, correct? Okay. So here behind me, we have from the folks that are here and voted, real-time results. So as you can see, we have group 4, action item number 1, and group 3, action item number 1 seem to be head-to-head, right? And then we have group 1, action item number 1, and group 2, action item number 3. Seem to be battling for second and third, right? And then the rest are also close. Yes?
Can you remind us which one's which? When you, give us.
Sure, we can definitely do that. Give me a second. Let me go back to my notes. You have them? Perfect. Okay. So we'll do maybe like the top 4 or 5. So we have group 4, action item number 1. AUHSD will keep small class sizes to 30 or less students per class to allow teachers to identify students' needs and reduce class sizes to support social emotional needs while allowing students to build relationships. Group 3, recommended action item number 1. AUHSD will allocate additional funding to reduce class size, teachers, and support lower staff caseloads, counselors, social workers, psychologists, and site administrators for all students, especially McKinney-Vento, foster youth, plurilingual students, low income, and students with disabilities, to provide for individualized attention, strengthen one-on-one relationships with parents and students, safe learning environment, social emotional learning opportunities, and representation of student voice. All right, those are our top two. In a close second or third, however you want to see it. Let me see if I have the right one here. Yep. Okay, so this is group one, action item number one. AUHSD will isolate specific funding geared towards hiring and retaining teachers with appropriate credentials to support class size reduction, especially in our core areas and PE classes, to increase the ability to build deeper and more authentic connections between teachers and students, increase college and career readiness course offerings, and support all students in achieving life readiness skills. Our number four is group two, action item number three. School and district staff will research and implement flexible learning opportunities. Examples are BAL schedules, block scheduling, hybrid classes, programming, and expanded e-learning, and course offerings for all students to positively impact and improve graduation rates, SBAC scores, CTE pathway completion, and A through G eligibility to reduce the need for remediation. And we'll read one more, I think the top five. Well, there's a few others, but we'll go ahead and go with number five as well. Group two, action number two. Here's the recommendation. The district will allocate adequate funding for schools to have a 250-to-1 counselor ratio in order to meet the academic, social, emotional, and career needs of our students. In order to best serve students, we need to address smaller caseloads. Good? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so as a reminder, let me check the next slide. Yes, as a reminder, we have, as next steps, these recommendations will be presented to our Board of Trustees at our June 8th board meeting. That month, we have two board meetings, right? We have this specific one on June 8th, to present the Lcap and a couple of other things to our Board of Trustees. And then our normally scheduled June 15th board meeting, where our Board of Trustees will be taking action and adopting. Okay, so just want to put that on your radar. If you can join us, that would be great, whether it's in person or if you want to log in virtually, you will have that option as well. All right, in person or virtually. Okay, and again, just before we close out and go to our lunch, we just want to make sure a huge thank you to everyone. How about Berkers Junior High? I think we have our team here. Our principal is our principal here, Mr. Almancio. Where's Gil? If you want to raise your hand. Your team, Gil did an amazing job of setting up for us and just went above and beyond. So we appreciate your support and your team and welcoming everyone. All of our educational partners that have joined us, our community partners, City of Anaheim, Gear Up, OCO, everyone, our parents, our students, everyone, our families, our staff. I mean, we know these are busy times. It's busy times all year long. And you guys, as Dr. Hernandez said earlier, you track the weather conditions that we face, and a couple of those situations, we were facing some pretty severe weather with the cold and the wind and the rain, and we had students walking over to their locations, wherever their groups were meeting, and just to make sure that they were a part of this very important process. Our steering committee representatives, we're not going to name names because there's quite a few names. We have close to 40 folks that are on our steering committee, but just who they represent. So they represent, our steering committee is made up of representatives from AFSCME, ALTA, APGA, ASTA, CSEA. These are all of our unions, right, that represent each of all of our staff members. DLAC representatives, PTA. What's MMA? I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh wait, MMA? Who was here? There was a big fight this last Saturday. Like, were they here? Okay, I apologize. MMA, PTA. I thought that was a typo. Okay. Our student ambassadors, again, another round of applause for our student ambassadors. They are also a part of our steering committee. We have a couple of our student ambassadors, are folks from our education support services, human resources, IT, student support services, special youth services, our superintendent's office. Everyone is a part of the steering committee. So we have additional meetings that happen throughout this process. We always meet at least a week or two before our actual focus group meetings and our initial meeting and our last meeting as well. So again, thank you to all of you for your support. And in closing, just want to make sure we're on the right slide. You know, as we think about our vision, again, our vision to create a better world through unlimited you. And we saw samplings, we've seen samplings of that, right? And you think about our students and how we are doing this. Well, so where's the evidence of this? And when we think of the evidence, we think of our framework in CPSF, our purpose, our soft skills, our 5 Cs, our technical skills, our pathways, all of our CTE pathways that afford these experiences, our clubs, our programs, our VAPA, our sports, our student talks, our soapbox speeches, our civic engagement, our capstone, just to name a few, right? And really the role that the Lcap process plays in helping to guide this ship that we call education and the journey our students are on. I am often reminded, when I think of all of that, I'm often reminded of the quote from Nelson Mandela that reads, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Again, we all play a critical role in ensuring that at the end of this educational journey that we're affording to our students and that our students are taking with us, that they feel confident, as we heard, right, and empowered and prepared to truly change and help create a better world. So thank you all for your support, and we look forward to seeing you on June the 8th. Have a great day, everyone. Appreciate it.